How many of you would love to visit the beautiful archipelago of the Philippines? I mean, like, the people are nice, the food is amazing, the weather, such a great time. And I'm speaking from firsthand experience. I actually went 10 years ago now. I mean, a decade really went by quick. I love that trip. It's so memorable because I was able to take my father. We also went to Japan in the same trip, and I had such a great time, but a decade went by so fast. But today's video is about helping you with some of the requirements necessary to enter the Philippines. So guys, right off the bat, if you want to go to the Philippines, here's some things to consider. You have to make sure that you have a valid passport. Now, most people know that. If you've gone outside the country, you know that. But if you've never done it and no one you know has ever traveled out the country, you might not know, and that's why this information is here. I also have more resources for you on this page. Whether you want to know what an archipelago is, whether you want to know how you apply for a passport, all of those videos are right here on this channel. More specifically, let's say you have a passport, you're good in that area, make sure there's a 6-month buffer to the time that you go to the Philippines or that you desire to go to the Philippines to the time that it expires. Make sure there's 6 months in between. So I'll give you a good example. We're in February, it's freezing here in New York, somewhere around freezing temperature. Let's say in June, you want to go to the Philippines. Maybe you get vacation time. Maybe you're getting out of school. Your kids are getting out of school. So it's a good time to go. That's month 6. You have to make sure that your passport is at least good until December. Even if you want to go to the Philippines in June, you have to make sure that it's at least valid until December. Now, for some countries, that might be, they might just require you have 3 months of validity left on your passport from your desired time of entry. That's something to consider. Another thing, no matter where you want to travel to, just do a quick research on whether or not you need a visa. So if you're American, go to Google, do Americans need a visa for the Philippines, and get your answer. And the reason I say that is because even if you knew, even if there's a place that's been on your eye for a few years, you have to check because things constantly change. Quick example, and I did a video about this before. Last year I went to Brazil, and American citizens did not need a visa, and it was like that for a few years, so they reinstated it. So that's one thing. So there's hurdles in traveling that are in front of you, and that's what I'm going over in this video. It's worrying about having the money for the flight. It's, making sure you have a visa. Making sure you have a passport. There's making sure that you have vaccinations for different reasons, for different places. Yeah, so going to Brazil last year did not need a visa. Now they reinstated it. Why? Because the countries that they took away that for, so I believe, let's just say US and other countries, there was no reciprocity, right? So we could go over there without a visa, but they couldn't come here without a visa. So they want to kind of level the playing field again, and they put that on. Luckily, I was able to go before I needed that, because that would have been another expense and another hassle, waiting for days and getting it back. And it's just so good when you can go to a place where you have a strong passport, and that's it. You buy your ticket and you go. Or it's visa on arrival. Like if you go to Egypt, it's visa on arrival. You don't have to do it before you get there. You get there, the visa is $25. They stamp it in your passport and you keep it moving. So that's that. Make sure you always research if you need a visa. Good thing for Americans, we can go 30 days visa free. A lot of countries I saw, the Philippines is the place to go because they allow a lot of people to enter into their country. And so for most places, it's going to be 30 days that they let you. For places like Israel and Brazil, the Philippines allow their citizens to stay for 59 days. If you're from places like Cuba, Egypt, China, for example, you'll need to go through the visa process. You'll need to make sure that you have a visa before you enter the Philippines. So just do your research. And lastly, I want to share with you some airlines that you can search when you are booking your flight to the Philippines. Now, if you're coming from America, most people will use Delta and United, or some type of code share of those two. But also you have other names to just look out for, because maybe you as an American, you only know the airlines that we have here, our big three, our American, our Delta, United, as I just mentioned. But Emirates goes there, Turkish Air, Korea Air, Japan Airline. Mostly everybody goes to ANA, which is another major Japanese carrier, goes there. So there's a lot of choices to go, which is great. The more choices you have, you should be able to find a reasonable ticket in your budget, right? So hopefully that was helpful. If you have any further questions, you can always ask down below, and I'm here to help out. And I hope you guys have a great time in the Philippines if you decide to go. Until next time, Dave Durango, over.